Hello. So welcome back to my channel. And for today, guess what we are going to discuss? So let me help you out. Today, let's talk about literature. Yes, and in this literature, we'll be talking about oral narratives. Oral narratives. I know all the communities, we have different types of oral narratives. So that's what we are going to discuss for today. So stay tuned as we start the discussion. So, as we continue, have you ever come across a question that asks you to define oral narratives? Worry less because I'm here, and let's start by defining oral narratives. So, this is a simple definition of oral narratives. They are spoken stories, myths, legends, and fables passed down through generations to entertain, educate, and preserve cultural history. So the main purpose of oral literature is to preserve cultural history, and mostly they were done for entertainment when people are working and they have to keep their minds busy to avoid being tired or to finish up the work quickly. So they had to entertain themselves through different types of oral narratives. So let's go down as we continue. We will start with the features of oral narratives. Number one, we have transmission. Transmission, it means how they were handed down orally by elders in communal settings. This is a way in which they were transmitted, let's say for entertainment. So how were they being transmitted? So they were transmitted orally by elders in communal settings. So people used to gather somewhere, they make fire, and then they start talking as they entertain themselves. And all these entertainments, they had a moral story. So their mode of transmission was they were passed down orally by elders in communal settings. Number two, we have they are often episodic. They are often episodic. So episodic means they had a beginning, middle, and ending. So for example, the beginning, the elders could say story, and then the respondents would say story come, and they often had a middle in those oral narratives. So number three, we have formula language. They had a formula language, i.e., they have opening and closing formula. They often had opening and closing formula. Let's say the one who is telling the maybe it's a myth could start by, or a story could start by saying story, and the ones who are being told would say story come, and at the end of that story, the one who was telling the story, maybe if it was an elder, he would say that's the end of my story. So that's a formula language. Number four, we have performance elements. They usually had performance elements, i.e., they relied on mimicry, voice modulation, gestures to bring characters to life. So if they were talking about animals, so they would picture the animals as if they were human beings, and then they will mimic them, and then they will lower or raise their tone at some point of the story, or bring out or use gestures to make the audience lively, to make them also participate in the storytelling if it was a story. Another one, they often involve songs, riddles, and call and response to make the audience actively participate. So the storyteller could, at the middle of the story, start singing and engage the audience to make those ones who are bored to be active, or some others who may be sleeping to wake up and start singing, either by clapping, singing, participating in the song, or asking them questions so that they could respond. And these usually makes them to be active. Another one, the final one, these oral narratives, all of them, they always impact moral values, i.e., honesty and hardworking. They have a moral value. That was the main purpose of oral narratives, most of them. So, thank you very much for staying with me, and kindly don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share my videos. And for today, that will be the end. Stay tuned. In our next lesson, we'll talk about types of oral narratives. This is a very interesting story, and a very interesting topic, and I know most of you will be glad to join me in. So, thank you very much. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like, and comment to my videos. Bye.